Welcome, Pokemon players, to another episode of Discount Pokemon Decks, and we have another new deck from our from the latest set, from the Guardians Rising set. And today's deck is Tauros-GX Honchrow. I'm gonna go with that, Honchrow. That's my guess. But yeah, today's deck features Honchrow's Ravenclaw attack, and this is the focal point. Raven's Claw attack does 10 damage, plus 10 more for each damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. So look at all his Pokemon, count up all the damage on them, add 10, that goes on the active Pokemon. It's kind of like Garbodor, where it's pretty scalable attack. You can get this attack up to very high numbers for very little energy. It's a pretty cool attack. And so the focal point is this attack combined with what I'm calling bench damage. And I'm using finger quotes here. You can't see that. Bench damage. So how do we acquire bench damage? Well, of course, one big way is using Tauros-GX. Horn attack would be one way. Using Rage or any other attack would also do. But how do we get bench damage? Because Tauros attacks the active Pokemon. Well, bench damage we can get by using those attacks, and we can even use Honckrow's attack and the Feint attack as well. But using that damage on the active Pokemon and Repel. We can use Repel and force our opponent to put a different Pokemon. Doesn't matter if he has a Floatstone or not. It's great, actually, if he picks his Tech Pokemon with a Floatstone, because that Pokemon will be on the bench after he retreats him, and that damage will always be there available for Honchrow to use. So it's kind of counterintuitive. Normally you get something like this, you want to use a Pokemon that you could just put back on your bench and let him sit there quietly, but that won't work against this deck because I'm exploiting that weakness. And of course, if you use a Pokemon that you're planning to attack with, or that you're going to leave as the attacker, well, I'm piling that damage on. So I have Repel. I have Escape Rope, of course. You know what this. Everybody knows what this card does. So this is kind of, instead of having a switch for this deck, why not use Escape Rope? So if I need to get Tauros-GX or another Pokemon out of there, use Escape Rope. Well, now the one that the active Pokemon that has some damage on him goes to the bench, and we're in position to do damage. Also with this deck, there's Bursting Balloon. Very helpful. So if my opponent does want to attack me, it's going to put 6 damage on his Pokemon. And then I can repel his active Pokemon, do some more damage on the active. So the idea is to get a lot of damage on different Pokemon using Tauros, using Bursting Balloon, using these cards here. We have Lysandre as well, and 4 V-Seekers to pull Lysandre. I know there's only one Lysandre here, but with 2 repels and 1 Escape Rope, we don't really need to target a Pokemon, and we don't really want to use a supporter if we don't have to. We can use our supporters for draw or for other things. We have Brock's Grid here. But basically, to swap out guys in and out, get a lot of damage on a lot of the Pokemon, and then use Honchrow to just wipe out whoever's left. So it's a pretty cool deck, the way it works. I've been very successful with this. I don't know if it's as successful as the last 2 decks I've had, but I've had some good wins and good games with this deck, and hopefully I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm gonna run across like all lightning decks and fighting decks, and it's just gonna rip me to shreds, or something that will take advantage of this deck. So yeah, I've had some good success. Also with this deck, there's some more synergy here. Of course, Special Charge. Anytime you have Special Energy and you want that Special Energy back, Special Charge is good. My mouse is kind of like a little lagged here. I don't know what's going on. There was another thing. Altar of the Moon. This is a good card in this deck too, because a lot of times your Tauros gets damaged, or you want to swap guys in and out. Well, all you do is you have to put a Darkness Energy on them, and then you can swap them pretty easily. The retreat is much less. So that's kind of cool. What else do we have here? Oh, this card here. Where are you? Energy Loto. This is a great card. Any deck where you have Special Energy, this card should be in there, because it helps you get it into that Special Energy into your hand so much easier. This is a tremendous card. Great addition, and should be used for any deck where you have Special Energy and kind of require it. So you're probably saying to yourself, hey, you know what? did you kind of cheese out here by using Tauros-GX? The answer is maybe, because yes, you can use this in a lot of decks, but the problem is, so I need something that is going to tank and can do a lot of damage for not a lot of energy. And I probably could have used different cards here. Maybe Yveltal EX or some other cards here. Maybe some... It was hard to find basics because I didn't want to go like stage 1, stage 2 and have to wait. You know, I already have evolution here. I didn't want to go evolution crazy here. And maybe you could. Maybe you could get away with Zoroark or some other, you know, dark Pokemon that you can use to attack. But this one fits the bill because synergy, speaking from like you know, looking at all the other components of the deck, you know, I have double colorless energy anyway, so that's, you know, that's a plus. So there's that kind of synergy there. I do want Bursting Balloon, so if my opponent does attack me, he does get damage, and the more damage my opponent has, the stronger my attack gets. You know, he can withstand a lot of damage with 180, and you can see I'm not even using a Fighting Fury Belt or anything like that, so a lot of the components fit in, and if my opponent decides to attack me, you know, and he doesn't do a lot of damage, I can one-shot him with, you know, potentially with Rage or Mad Bull. So it gets kind of frustrating. You know, if he leaves the, you know, if he's attacking me early, it's gonna pay one way or the other. So the other interesting thing to note is, you know, I didn't try it, but there's the potential to having this deck Honchrow work on its own. Because what happens is, if you get some damage on your opponent, especially with Bursting Balloon, so let's say you get 10, 20, or let's say your opponent you've used the Feint Attack, which also works really well. I mean, that's another thing to like about this deck, is that the smaller attack works well too. So if I get a Pokemon in the active spot that's really not attacking me, I can use Feint Attack to damage up the bench Pokemon, and then the Raven's Claw eventually will do that much more damage. So every time I use a Feint Attack, that's 30 damage. So that's 30 damage next time I use Raven's Claw. So it's you know, the card helps itself, which is good. You don't want a card that works against itself, and this one helps it in this deck. And I've used that Feint Attack a couple of times. It's actually pretty cool. So in any case, that's pretty much it. We're going to go to the games right after a short break. All right, here we go. Game number 1. Ooh, grass type. Grass type, beware. Are we facing the Vileplume? What are we facing? So many bad things that can happen playing a grass deck these days. Would I like to go first? I'm going to say no. I have 4 Tauros. The reason why I have 4 Tauros-GX in this deck is not because I'm going to go through them in a game. It's so that I get one on the first turn, and I don't have to play Murkrow. Oh, wait. That didn't happen this time. Oh, fudgicle. Anyway. All right, so let's see what my opponent has here. All right, so we are going to see lots of bombardment here. Hopefully we can get our Tauros-GX out. And even the basic Pokemon helps out. His one attack switches their Pokemon active for one of the bench Pokemon. So let's see if we get End here or not. Well, it may take some time. I'm guessing we're going to be sitting here for a bit. Well, let's see which version of this deck are we going to see. If there's going to be a Vileplume or not. Should know soon. Alright, the Hex Maniac, that's interesting. Shaman, alright, so. I mean, this is nothing. The worst deck was for sure Night March, because you would sit there for a good 5 minutes and do nothing while your opponent went crazy. You know, seeing that it was a grass deck, I maybe should not have let my opponent go first. Because if he gets item lock here, this is going to be ugly. I should have thought of that clearly. But my hope was to get a Tauros-GX and start attacking right away and do 60 damage. This guy would be knocked out if I did have that. So, a Leaf Blower does not help, but Nest Ball does. We'll get our Tauros out. We're going to get our Alter Moon out. Well, let's see what this gives us first. A Repel does not help. Another Nest Ball does. So let's get another Murkrow out. So now we need to swap these two guys. That's the idea. And I don't know if I want to use this yet. Would it be... let's see. If I take a risk here, I can only get 4 cards. I'm going to go for it. Why not? I'm not going to use that just yet. And that did not work out at all. So, alright, so I do have an N. I do have the ability to evolve. I can evolve this bench Pokemon, so I don't have to worry too much. It's good. These are 1 retreats, so if I do get an energy on with Alter the Moon, they can retreat easily. Not a great start, although I've had worse. It'd been nice if the Tauros was the active Pokemon. There goes my stadium. So almost certainly I'll just evolve this guy and let him die, but... well, let's see what we get here. I mean, does it really matter? It doesn't really matter. Should I play an N? Because it doesn't seem like my opponent has anything going on. Double colorless, okay. So we'll put that on him. I could play an N and try to target the Shaman. Buy me a turn. Because he's going to kill this guy off. What if I try to save him? Is that crazy? Play this turn, next turn. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Because it kind of makes sense. Alright, so if he's got to waste resources on the Shaman, if I play the N now anyway, he'll be 1 ahead of me. But if he knocks this guy out and Tauros is doing work, then I feel like I'm a step ahead of him. It's almost like, you know, when you for the chess players out there, you check the king. And if you could do it in a way that doesn't force you to do a move afterwards, it's helpful. You gain a tempo. So I feel like that kind of gave me a tempo. So he wasted an energy, and that was 1 energy that went on Shaman that didn't go on Lurantis, and so that stopped him from Solar Blade for a few seconds. Oh, interesting. That's a gutsy card to have. It pays off for both of us. And I'm going to definitely use this Repel, and I'll definitely put this double colorless on Honchrow if he knocks this Murkrow out. I mean, I will lose one of these, so I only have 3 in the deck. It's a 4-3 lineup. It's unfortunate that the Sycamore came at this time with this hand, but... and I wasn't paying attention to what my opponent's doing. Alright, so there we go. The side UI is coming next. Maybe not this second, but that's good. If I can get some damage on these 2 guys, that's going to make him a little more powerful. So, yeah, we're going to see the side UI here. He's going to start targeting, I'm guessing, unless it's going to be like another Shaman or Tapu Lele. Alright. Shaman good. As long as he doesn't put him back in his hand, I'm okay. Does he have 2 basic energy in here yet? He's got 1, so... interesting. I already used my Lysandre. So he's here, and I can pull him back out with a V-Seeker. Not liking how this game is turning out. This Murkrow in the active spot, not being able to get him out, has really hurt. And my opponent's going to start raining down on me. Interesting, he's got the Hex Maniac in his deck. Like, I guess the mirror matchup, attack, and then play Hex Maniac. Use the ability. So who's he going to go after? Tauros? Probably. Yep. Alright, so we expected all this. Not a huge deal. We'll repel, put some damage on these guys. Force him to use some time up. Double colorless on Honchrow. Ooh, he's looking to knock this guy out. Oof. Do I play? I really can't. I really just got to go with. So there you go. So now I'm forcing my opponent with Repel to choose a different active Pokemon. Who do you think he's going to... I think he's going to take a Shaman because I think he can get him back in his hand. Or at least that's his theory. So, Sycamore, 7 cards. Not ideal. This is good. What else do I need? He doesn't have... I could get rid of his stadium. Ooh, what to do? You know what? I want to do this. I want to get my next guy ready. Fine with this stadium there for now. I was hoping he'd put like a tool and I could use the field. You know what? I don't want him to build up another one quickly. I'm just going to use it now. So just stadium go. Alright, so here we go. So 60 damage, so he's going to do 70 on his next attack. Which is not bad, not great. See, if he doesn't have a double colorless, he's got to put a single energy in retreat, and then he'll use this guy to knock him out. But there'll be 60 more on him, so I'll be doing 120. Which I'm okay with. I don't see why he would do that. I don't particularly want to knock him out, though. Right? Because if I knock him out, then these guys are no longer doing damage. So it's almost smart for him to keep him. Although I can do it just to get the 2 prize cards. But then I'm kind of... Alright, Hex Maniac does nothing. I'm guessing he's got no draw here, which is good. So starting to feel things shift in my favor. I don't want to... Even though N will give me more cards, I don't want to bail my opponent out. Oh, that was... Now what do I do? Do I knock this guy out, or do I just do like... Either way, I'm knocking him out, right? I'm going to do nothing. And I'm going to Lysandre this guy next. So let's see what my opponent does. It looks like he's stuck here, and I'm okay with that. And I have my next attacker ready. If I knock this guy out, he's going to knock me out. And, you know, you have to think sometimes a couple of moves ahead. So for once, I'm trying to not rush through things. Trying to think strategically as opposed to just card vomit. And, alright. That doesn't make me feel good. Oh, 7 cards for him. Or is that 6? 6 cards. 6 cards for me. Okay. These are good. Alright, so he's looking to get rid of this guy. Can't get him out of the way still. Oh, he's there. Okay, that's good. Except he's going to knock him out. And... Alright, so... I'm in a little bit of a quandary here. Because I'm only doing 70 damage here. I need some more Pokemon. Nothing. There's no point in taking any of this because I'm just going to play N here. So we'll play this. I'm not playing the energy either. Hoping to get like a rope and a Honchrow would be great. Alright, I got half of what I wanted. Should I put another Tauros down? It's going to take up my energy. And he can only do this attack once. This Chloroscythe. But he doesn't have to do it now. And he didn't do it before to knock him out. Wow. So he can still knock out my guy with this. I'm kind of in a bad spot here. Oh, that's all I have. Alright. So 1, 2, 3 is the order of things if I can control it. This does not look good. So, but the next attack will do 70 and 60, 130. Just still not enough to knock him out unless he attacks with this Bursting Balloon on. So if he's got a Lysandre, his smart play is to knock off this Tauros, and then I'm 1 card away from Oblivion. If he attacks me, I'm going to certainly knock this guy out in the next turn. And then I'm only doing, again, 70 per turn, so... Well, he can't target me unless he's got Pokemon Catcher. He can start using his birds to... his Robin Hoods here to... has anybody used that phrase? Robin Hood? to attack my Tauros. So I expect that 40 counters on him, 4 damage counters on him. But yeah, so this is interesting. So you can see kind of the synergy of this deck. If he does attack, he will do enough damage that my next guy will knock him out. And if he doesn't attack, then what? So Tauros, no. So he's IDing the real threat here. And I'm going to surely Lysandre this guy if I have the chance. Nope. Okay, so he does attack. So 160 damage per turn with this guy. I'm going to play N here and cripple him, I think. He's going to use the birds to knock me out slowly. Knock this guy out. So, I believe I have at least 2 in here. And he'll put this Pokemon as his next active. But I do have to knock this guy out first before I do anything. I am going to play an N here. Kind of cripple my opponent, I hope. Alright, we did get the 1 energy we need. Did not get any of the cards I need to target the right guy, so... Or maybe I'll get something here. Rope or Repel. I need either one. And I think... do I have any left? To tell you the truth? Yeah, I've got the Escape Rope somewhere in the deck. Because I used 2 Repel here. That's all I have. Other than getting a V-Seeker and pulling a Lysandre. So this is smart of him, of course. He can just keep raining down on this guy. So the game's tightening up a little bit. Is he going to Lysandre me? Does that make sense? Because I'm doing the same amount of damage either way. You know, I can knock these 2 Shaman out and win that way. So I don't know if this was the best idea. So you can do 40 damage per turn. That means by next turn this guy is toast. Which is fine because he's taken away my biggest avenue of victory with him. There's no point in playing Brock's Grit. And will force my opponent to lose a card. But I have a better chance of getting more cards with Birch, and that's what I'm going for. I could have put another energy down on him just so I don't draw that. That might have been an idea. Alright. So I have a V-Seeker, so next turn I can target this guy. So this is possible to win depending on how much damage he puts on this guy. So I may have a victory here after all this. Watch, I'm going to get the Escape Rope now. Nope. Alright, nothing here to play. So, alright, that's smart of him. I don't want to see an end because I want to keep this V-Seeker and target the Shaman. He's going to knock out this Honchrow, and I have to be able to knock this guy out. But even still, he's only doing 40 damage per turn. How is he going to escape Mad Bull GX? I think I've got this game won. So unless he's going to do some kind of Razor Leaf, he still has to get pretty far with Razor Leaf. I could build up a next one. But if he targets him with Razor Leaf 1 turn in, that's no good. Alright, so he's going to draw some cards. How many turns will it take me to knock this guy out? Well, it depends. I mean, he's got to put damage on me, and I need how much damage? If he gets more than 80, I can one-shot any of his Pokemon. So I don't think I need this N. And I don't want him to have any cards in his hand that he's chosen. Escape Rope. Interesting. Let's get rid of his Stadium. Now, do I play N or do I hold on to this? He's putting a Fromantis down. I could target him anyway, so let's just start. Yeah, let's go for it. So what are you going to do? You're going to do 90 damage to me, and then you're going to get one shot at anybody. If he puts 40 on me, I can target the Shaman with a Lysandre. So maybe his idea is to build this guy up as strong as possible before doing any damage. Nope. So one more, and I Lysandre Shaman and win. Yep. All right. There we go. So game one, it did not look good in the beginning, but you could see how this deck worked. My opponent kind of struggled a little bit, and here we go. Lysandre, that Shaman. Yes, for the win, right? I calculated this right, I hope. Just for fun. I know that would make me mad if somebody did it against me. There we go. Game one in the books. Victory against Lurantis Decidui. Let's go to game two right after a short break. All right, welcome back. Game number two. So in that first game, I think it was pretty interesting that you saw how how Repel worked with this. We'll call Tails again. And how it caused my opponent problems because he put that Shaman in there thinking that he'll just hide the Shaman on the bench, but I'm going to select no again. But there's no hiding when you have Honchrow that's going to punish you for that damage. All right, should we go with 2? Why not? We did end up playing 2 last game. The first one got knocked out. The second one did the final damage. Interesting. Interesting. Not a great opening hand. I don't like seeing Birch in the opening hand because then I could pull down just 4 cards and still be stuck. Nope. No reason to play Repel here unless I get a double colorless and I want to go after whoever Eevee is. Alright, so this may be a little more tough. But again, I have the Bursting Balloon, so if he wants to hit me for 30 damage, it's going to cost him 60 health there. Do I put this energy on him? I'm going to say yes. And my guess is no point playing the Bursting Balloon now, unless I do the Repel, which I don't want to do. Let's make my opponent earn getting rid of his Shaman. Alright. The coin loves me. Let's get our Pokemon down. Murkrow. So having this energy on him helps, even if I put the double colorless, because with the Stadium I can retreat. And with Confusion, that's a good thing. Although, quite honestly, with Tauros, you know what? If you want to confuse me and it's going to put more hit points, damage on my guy, sometimes not such a bad thing, because then I can try to go for Mad Bull, and so I figured this would happen. So again, putting the Bursting Balloon doesn't really help. No, what did we lose here? Another Espeon. Okay. So is this going to be Garbodor here? Am I going to see that at some point? Hex Maniac, interesting. Choice Band, not great. I usually play a lot of discount decks, so Choice Band doesn't hurt me as much because I don't normally have GX, but yeah, with Tauros, that kind of hurts. But again, you're going to do more damage to Tauros. I'm going to try to push it back on you. And if the penalty is 30 damage, that's not so bad. I mean, yeah, it'll help facilitate knocking him out, but it's a 50-50 shot. Yeah, alright, Garbodor, so I have to be careful. What do I have? 1 here. But this is not a great deck to for me against Garbodor. 60 damage, who are you giving me? Really? Now the question is, do I do a ton of damage on this guy? I think my opponent's fine with the Stadium, so I may use the Ultra Ball on these two. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, he wants to knock the Stadium out, that's fine. But I have my next Pokemon ready, so if I get close to knocking him out. Let me think for a second. If I do 80 damage, he'll only do 90. No, I need to use my Mad Bull attack. So there we go. So lots of damage on his Pokemon. If I can repel him, these are all one-shot. So I do have to keep track. There's only 2 item balls here, so Garbodor getting powerful. Choice Band, alright. So 60 damage back at me, so it's going to be 120. It's going to be more than that. 63. Ooh. But I will knock him out with my Crow and pick up 2 cards, so that's I got that going for me, which is nice. Oh, I think he just one-shot me. Yes, he did. Alright, and I wasted my GX attack. He still has his, but time to do the oh, that's nice. That's not so nice with this guy, because that's just going to end up doing 40 more damage. I can't really risk it. Actually, I have to, because if I don't, well, he'll only do 40 damage to me, and I could start hitting these guys 30, then when I'll do 60. No, I think I have to do this, so, because really this is my problem here. I don't really have any other way to draw cards. Eee. So who am I facing now? Alright, let's go. Put an energy on him and attack. I dare you. The bad part is, against Garbodor, I can't really use the item cards I'd like to use. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, that just that hurts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's doing 100 damage with this guy. Oh, he's not in attack with him anyway. So when this goes in the garbage bin, he'll be doing even more. And I can't use Feint Attack because I don't have the Dark Energy. And he's out of Espeon. This is so interesting. So he's going to be one-shotting my birds here. He's going to be doing a lot of damage with this guy. And there's not much I can do about it. And I really don't want to use these cards because I don't want him one-shotting this guy yet. So 30 damage it is. Oh, 10, excuse me. 10 damage. So the next shot will be 20. But I can Lysandre some of these guys and spread the damage around. This hurts. Damn you, Garbodor. Who comes up with this stuff, really? And why do I not have my Garbodor Bunnelby deck to counter this? Because that would be just totally taking advantage of the situation. But that's alright. Alright, so here we go. Espeon. Who do I target? Do I target this Trubbish? Do I target... Well, he's got double colorless, so I don't want the Shaman. Ooh, he's going to retreat and confuse me. So I'm going to Lysandre that Trubbish, I think. I don't want to put this back in his hand. And I am going to attack because I do want to get damage. If I have to lose 30 every time, that's fine. Tough matchup here. The Garbodor is such a killer. Such a joy buzz. Oh, look at that. Look at that. What a joy buzz. I didn't even get the 10 damage for hitting him. It's really not worth it to play the Brox now. And I may just have to say, to heck with it, and start playing my item cards. And I think I am with this Bursting Balloon here. Because, and I cannot even attack, so... Seeing if my opponent will attack me, but now he's one-shotting all my birds. And I really don't have any damage counters on these guys. Is he gonna, well, is he gonna retreat and use Garbodor to clean up the field, or is he just gonna use Espeon? That damage gets on him. That makes it difficult for my opponent. And then I'll probably Lysandre this guy, I think. I have to think about this. 60. Maybe I'll Lysandre that Shaman. Or should I save him? Yeah, now we're going all out, so another bird, please. And we're just going to have to... It's going to be like one of those offensive shootouts where we're just trying to do as much damage as possible. I think I want to Lysandre this guy and do 60 damage on him. All right, let me think. If I do the damage on him, he'll have 70, but he's going to do a ton of damage on him. And then what? I knock him out. If I do the damage on him, he'll take 2 cards before. I mean, I can knock this guy out in 2 turns, but he'll be severely damaged. Espeon will probably clean that up. And I only have 60 on this guy. 70 damage. Does that help these guys out? 140, but... Or do it on Shaman, but Shaman he can return to his hand with a double... Or she can return to her hand with a double colorless. So... He's just going to retreat. Let's go this way. Almost did rage. I've seen a lot of people do that. Like, I'll be playing someone and they do just like 20 damage. I'm like, why? Oh, yes, they... Because the rage window is so much bigger than Horn Attack. Go ahead, retreat. That's what I want. Yes! Yes, now we have a game because this is 130 damage on my opponent's bench here. This is that did not work in my favor. Oof. But I should be able to one-shot this guy. Yeah, I cannot play another bull, but yeah, I'm in big trouble here. All right. Let's make it hard for my opponent to do things too, right? So 1, 2. Yeah, you're going to be doing lots of damage to me. I get it. But I am going to be one-shotting you now. I do need that energy in my deck. Hopefully get it back in my hand. So I'm going to knock this guy out. And we'll play it from ear. We'll play it by ear after that. So I have enough to one-shot the Espeon right now, too. So again, you could see how this deck, it's like a slow building curve. It's like a roller coaster. It goes up, up, up. It's slow to go to get to a lot of damage. But when it does, that damage really escalates. So what is he going to do? Is he going to use Espeon? I mean, if I were him, I would put the Trubbish as active. Obviously, he's got the Float Stone. If you've got the 2 cards in your hand, all he has to do is knock me out. Oh, I didn't realize. Yes. So he just needs 2 cards in his hand. That not being one of them. Is he going to retreat? I thought he tried to... So he put the energy on this guy. He basically could have one-shot me with the Trubbish, with the Garbodor. So maybe he just does not have the other Garbodor in his deck. I mean, how many cards... I keep saying he. I'm sorry. I wonder how many... There's just one there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, yep, alright. So, gonna go after the little guy here. Still can only do 30 damage, and I can get out of the confusion. So my goal will be actually play the Ultra Ball, discard those 2, and then Sycamore, Lysandre, V-Seeker to Sycamore for the double colorless. You can't put an energy on this guy. Excuse me. Ooh. That makes... If I get a double colorless, then I'm going to play the N. Because I need to reduce her to one card in her hand. So that's what I'm hoping for. No. I should use this Repel. But she'll probably put the Shaman as their active, and what I really want is the Garbodor. I almost have to play N. I'm going to go with the N because I'm scared of her getting one energy. One energy and it's all over. That's... Yeah, this game's over, I think. Play the N anyway. Oh, that's a bummer. You know, maybe instead of that Brox, I should put in a couple of rescue. I'm going to do this in the hopes she doesn't have an energy there. And if she doesn't, I can maybe get an energy on this guy and retreat him. There you go. All right, good game to my opponent. She played really well. And it kind of went a little bit back and forth. Oh, what's the point of that? I thought she'd use the psychic attack. It would be clearly enough to knock me out. But anyway, good game by my opponent. Definitely got outplayed there a little bit. Alright, can we sneak in a third game? Is this possible? Under such time crunch these days, it's hard to get 3 games in. I have some decks that I've redone that I'd like to do, and I don't want to play like 1 or 2 games. I was thinking to do a tournament. I just don't have the time. Alright, this is a fantastic hand, almost. It's almost perfect. I would just need like an energy, and then I wouldn't feel bad. But maybe I will chuck the stadiums. As you can see, the stadiums are not really integral to this deck. They're mostly there to stop my opponent from putting like rough seas and stuff. They're good for switching now and then. They do come in handy, but I mean, if I had to cut something, that might be the first thing. I could cut them for like field blowers. Don't want that. So that's going to get Ultra Bold. And I said this before. Oh. I'm going to do nothing this turn because I want to get him down, and I'm going to play a Sycamore, and I may do some other stuff. So my opponent wants to put damage on my Tauros. That's fine with me. That's less fine, but I do have the Field Blower to get rid of that, so I'm okay with that. So kind of taking a 1-turn hit to get the Honchrow down. And maybe I should definitely put a 4th in for the stadium. That will probably be one of the things I will do. And maybe a rescue stretcher or 2. Although if I get a 4th one, I don't know if I need the rescue stretcher. I'm trying to think what other impediments I've had so far. Maybe another Repel. Or even an Escape Rope. That would probably be more useful than the stadiums. So maybe take all 3 stadiums out. That would be my... I've used them in the past, but I don't think they're as integral. These things... I mean, Tauros doesn't retreat easily, but... that does not help now. I will play my stadium now. I will play Field Blower. And knock that guy out. Should I switch? Because I'm doing 60 anyway. No, I'm not going to switch. There's no point right now. That is nice. And now let's return the favor if my opponent wants to use that attack again to put cards in his hand. Talonflame's going to be hurting. Although close to death anyway. It's totally worth it. I'll have 80 damage on Tauros, and I can target one of my opponent's frogs if that's the case. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll start one-shotting the frogs here. Or do I wait and one-shot him with the 80 damage on me? Because the next one's going to be Froakie that's going to put 3 on the bench. Or less. So maybe I hold my Lysandre for then. Actually, I want this guy on the bench with the 120 damage. What am I thinking? I'm definitely going after Froakie now. And we'll draw a card for it too. So Rage. 100 damage. That's fine with me. And this will actually work in my favor, this deck, because as my opponent's retreating the frogs, Honchrow will get stronger. As long as I don't get totally wiped out there. Yep. Frogadier. Frogadier will also go. Oh, Enhanced Hammer. Okay, we'll have to play an N here. So I want to save these for... I may even play the Special Charge now. I want to make sure I can attack and use this Tauros while I have him. So, come on. Yep. So we need that energy bad. It'd be nice to fill out our bench here. Oh, man, bummer. That's just like the worst thing that can happen. Oh, man, my luck. All right, so another bird. All right, we're going to have to wing it from here. Hopefully this Birch can give us something that's good. And it's funny, I even played it conservatively and played the Special Charge after one energy was gone. In the hopes that, all right, I still have 4 total in my deck between deck and prizes that I would get some, but... I mean, this works in my favor tremendously. I'm glad I kind of caught that and thought it through. I am playing a little more careful today. I don't know, I must have had a good dinner or something. Brain food. Alright, so now bad stuff's going to start happening. Not enough to knock this guy out. Unless, is there a Kukui in my future? Oh, that's bad. Good play by my opponent. Very good play. And hide this guy on the bench. Good until you can start raining damage back on me. Bummer. So 120. So I could still knock this guy out if I got a double colorless and a Lysandre all in one turn, which is impossible right now. I'm going to be stuck just playing a Birch and hoping I get something good. If I get another 4 cards like this, this will be a very painful game. Especially when you know how much I love these frogs, so... my opponent thinking this through carefully. There we go. All right. Come on. Energy Loto would be good. All right. Ask and ye shall receive. All right. Double colorless. Baby needs a new pair of shoes. Nothing. Oh, all right. So I'm only allowed to ask for one thing, I guess. Thanks, Genie. You're welcome. Oh, this hurts. All right, here we go again. Look, there's one right there. Can't I just use it right then and there? Can't I just take the double colorless next to it? Let's see. Come on. Third time's a charm? What do I do here? Show playmat. Let's see what's in here. I'm going to get knocked out by a Talonflame. I'm going to pull nothing into my hand. Should I repel? I mean, this guy's going to... He could retreat anyway. This is just such a bummer here. And now bad stuff happens. He's gone. Other people are going to get hurt. No damage counters on anything. That max potion was just such a killer. And you think with the water deck, like, alright, he's going to use Rough Seas, and that's going to be the part that kills me. I would target this guy here, the Honchrow. Although, really, they're all harmless. Maybe I would target the Tauros. I mean, what would you target here if you're my opponent with the Water Shuriken? No, not even going for that. Just taking Tauros out. And And I've got like no business doing anything here right now. I think my opponent has enough to one-shot this guy. Let's see if I get it. I'm going to get like 3 energy now. Watch. No, 1. Just like a day late, a dollar short this game. Always against the frogs. So 60, so he's going to do 70. Not nearly enough to do damage, enough damage on him. Enough to kill off a frog, a deer. If I want to go that route. And now the Frogadier is going to evolve. Yeah, it's going to be tough here. I mean, there's still a chance because a lot of times in Great Ninja decks, the frogs are going back and forth. So, depending if I can catch him on the bench with enough damage, I just have to not attack the same one, I think. I think that's my strategy from here on in. But every turn, if he's got 2 breaks, he's going to be knocking out one guy. So, I don't really see this happening today. Interesting. I may go after this guy here. Yeah, I'm going to go after this guy. We're going to do this to confuse my opponent a little bit. So who do you go after here? You probably just knock out this guy. Wait, 40. I'm doing 100. Ooh, so close. 120. Ooh. I'll take that. Yeah, Mad Bull Attack knocks out his... Yes, all right. Something going right against the frogs. There's a first. Bursting Balloon doesn't really help against this deck because a lot of times he can shuriken around you. Interesting choice. Does he have enough to take this guy out in one shot? 140, 1680, 140. Yes, he does. Oh. Well, maybe I should have went after this guy and set up my birds. So I didn't think that one through. I got excited to actually kill off a frog. And that was probably not my best choice here. But he only has 1, so for now. I will play a Special Charge. I'm going to put him as my active. I will put a Bursting Balloon and then Sycamore. Man. Still a powerful deck. This deck here. Grey Ninja. Still such a pain in my side. Alright, what do we have here? We're going to get rid of Silent Lab because we can. Not because... No, yeah, we're going to lose this card anyway with Sycamore. So, let's get rid of it. Special Charge again. Why not? If I get a double colorless, it's going right on this guy. I don't care. I'm going to probably get 3 now. No, there you go. So I called it. Do I repel him? Well, he can knock me out 1 turn if he's the active. But any of these guys can retreat anyway, so I don't see the purpose. I'm done. I can see it from here because he can knock this guy out in 1 shot. And, oh, I'm like doing no damage. Well, let's see. Bursting Balloon 70. Yeah, no, this game's over. So it's all academic from here, I think. He's just going to go after this guy, which is smart. Just knock him out. He can still do 80 damage on him. Doesn't matter. Yeah, this game's over. So I'll let my opponent do that 1 attack, and then I'll concede. Because he'll be 80 damage. He'll be 1 giant shuriken away, and I don't have enough firepower to one-shot this. So, good game to my opponent. Oh, really? Alright, good game to my opponent. As soon as he does this, come on. If he plays another card, I'm going to concede. There you go. All right. So we'll go over right into the... All right. So, you know, I think this deck did pretty well. I had some more success with it previously. I think if I would do anything, I would do, let's say that. Oh, I don't have a fourth one. Well, in any case, it's fine. I could do that for now. I can go acquire it. I think the stadiums were less useful. And the field blowers were kind of adequate. I don't know if I need a third one there. Let's go with another Repel here. What else should I add? Kind of draw enough cards. I'm thinking Kukui maybe, just to give Tauros like a little extra oomph. I think this is kind of adequate. I mean, maybe I should replace these with the Evosodas, but the idea... You know what? I am, and I'm going to tell you why. There's no point in having them, the Ultra Balls, I think. Because it's very rare I won't have a Tauros. I have 4 in my deck, and I have the Nest Balls. So let's get these guys out quicker, the birds. And it seems like I was just... Ooh, this is way too many. 2 should be fine. So let's get a better overview of our deck. So 59 cards, 2 Evosoda, 3 Repel, 4 Bursting Balloon. I'm going to add that Kukui. Let's see, wait, 10 draw cards. I'm going to drop a Birch for Kukui. And I think I'm going to leave it at that, so, oops. Oh. And I think this will be the final, well, the published version of this deck. Oops. There we go. All right, so Kukui gives a little more damage. 60. Did I put 2 there? 4 and 3 is 7, 11. Did I have an extra spot? Evosodas are here. Nest Ball is here. 3, 1. All right. Well, I wanted the stretcher just to pull these guys back in. Honestly, this guy hasn't been that helpful. So let's replace him with, let's put 2 rods in the deck. I mean, the other thing I had trouble with was getting these double colorless. So that I could put a teammates here, but usually by that point, it hasn't been that much of a challenge. There was that one spot where I just needed double colorless and it just didn't come up, and then I got like 5 later. So, do I even need 2 of these? Maybe 1. Wow, I still have space in this deck. I think that'll help. There we go. All right, I think this is good. I think it gives us a little more balance. So we did have struggle getting energy at one point, so having 3 of these in works. 1 Escape Rope. I think the 2 Evosoda, replacing the Ultra Balls, because I have Nest Balls and I have 4 of these in this deck, and I really don't want more than 1 or 2. And a lot of times I was using the Ultra Balls to get rid of the other 2. I mean, I could keep them in to do that, but I saw I was doing the stadiums a lot and even the field blower, so it doesn't really seem to really mesh in. I do need to get another Honchrow, but I think you got a good idea of this deck, and you know, especially in that first game, that it does work well. And even the second game, I had some good success with it. So anyway, thanks a lot to watching, and until next time. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you'll know when our next video is released. Also, check out our playlists where you can find videos by topics like Mill decks or Cheap EX decks.